Of the G20 countries that met in Durban last year that wanted to improve the lives of Africa and the way people cook with dignity in Africa. Please tell us more. How did your company take that decision, and what did that decision make for your company?
Yes, so Easigas is obviously a leader in the LPG in South Africa, so it was quite obvious for us to be involved in this kind of project, since LPG is the quickest, reliable and scalable energy for clean cooking in Africa. We already have the infrastructure. People are already used to, are already familiarized with LPG, so it was an easy decision to make for us.
And what kind of value did this decision unlock for you?
So it's obviously in terms of social impact, but it's also a way to develop small businesses, because we have a clear instruction from the government about the transformation of our industry. We need to have more black, more female involved in the industry. Easigas is a BBE level 1 company, and we need to promote entrepreneurs to develop the LPG and drive transformation.
And how do you scale infrastructure into places where the roads, income and trust are limited?
Yes, so that's why we developed different sizes actually of point of sales. So we have the biggest point of sales, where we'll have the majority of the storage of the cylinders that will be in secured places, in the malls or in existing secure locations. And we'll have smaller locations as well, which are a bit less secured, and where our aim is not to leave expensive assets during the night, for example. So there will be a system of rotation in order to minimize the cost linked to safety and make LPG more affordable for people.
When you were speaking, you mentioned the innovation of making LPG not only accessible, but also accessible in small quantities, and you said down to 1 kg.
Yes, so currently you can refill privately owned cylinders at any quantity you want, but the Easigas cylinders that are based on a deposit were only allowed to be refilled fully. And now what we will enable with this is to refill down from 1 kg at our approved point of sales, and we will also be launching a smaller cylinder that is more convenient to transport.
And you also had a safety gadget of innovation that you were introducing. Take us more about it?
Yes, so in South Africa there is a lot of non-compliant operators, and some of them are using our cylinders and refill them without our authorization. So we have no control on how much gas they put in there. We have no control on if they add other substances to create weight in the cylinders. And we were seeing that some Easigas counterfeit shrink wrap seals were appearing on the market. And that's when we decided to launch these new seals. And we also saw how not convenient it was to open those shrink wrap seal, and dangerous, you know, with the knife. And our aim is to make life easy for consumers. So that's when we launched those easy seals.
So safety is quite an important aspect. And how do you plan with communities like this that are not traditionally using gas, normally would be using wood and biomass? How do you give them that awareness and education to use gas safely?
Yes, so at Easigas we acknowledge that it's not our biggest strength to be in the communities. That's why we want people from the communities to be part of this business journey, so that they can educate the people. We know our strengths: logistics, brand, image, quality, safety, but we need the community as well to to be educated about how they are using gas, and where we will be later at our point of sales will also be people trained by the LPGSA so that they can educate the people who are coming and asking information about LPG.
I see you're starting with about 108 villages. Are you planning to roll this initiative across South Africa, Southern Africa, I think?
Yes, so ECCI 2030 is a roadmap for Easigas to develop 500 point of sales in South Africa until 2030, which makes it one of the biggest last mile projects in whole Africa.
And what do you say to your critics that says that gas delays renewable energy? How would you respond to that?
It's definitely a transition energy, but today we need to make a choice. Do we continue by using paraffin, waiting for solar and for fully clean energies to arrive here, or do we use LPG as a transition? Because when we say clean, it's not only that LPG is emitting less CO2. It's still a fossil fuel. We know it's still emitting CO2, but what it does, it's also cleaner for the indoor of the houses. When you cook wood with wood or charcoal or paraffin, you have fumes inside the house. And LPG, you only have CO2 and water coming out after combustion.
What is that grand milestone in 2030? How do you see these villages becoming?
I want to see that every time a woman will come with their cylinder to cook, because it's most of the target today. We'll see in 2030 if men will be cooking more and going to the refill pod to fill gas. But I want to see that everybody can walk to a point of sales where he can refill his gas with an Easigas cylinder.
Monsieur Tromp, merci beaucoup. Thank you
Merci
for joining
beaucoup.
us on Africa Channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.